The Red Pandas got off to a little bit of a rocky start, in large part because they minted 2 days after the geckos. Now, you know I love my geckos. I'm not blaming the geckos here. The market hype surrounding the geckos, fueling their absolutely meteoric rise, is totally justified because they bring amazing stuff to the table with the lore, the airdrops, and everything like that. But after making my video and having a lot of chats and conversations with people, the market is starting to really wake up to the fact that the Red Panda team is totally delivering. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to analyze what's happened with the Red Panda team over this week. We're going to look at how the pricing action has worked. We're going to look at what's in store for Red Panda holders, including, guess what, an airdrop is coming. And then we'll talk about where can you find your opportunities to get into the Red Panda and maximize your return. Let's go. Now, you know me. You know I absolutely love the Red Panda Squad. I've been talking about this project for like weeks now at this point, and this is the only project that I myself have sought an affiliation with. I reached out to them and said, look, I think what you're doing is absolutely amazing, and I'd love to partner with you on this. Now, I'll tell you right now, they did compensate me. They gave me a floor panda. They gave me a gold plain panda. Now, that's not complaining at all. I am totally grateful for what they gave to me and the opportunity to work with them and learn about their project and everything like that. And that is, in large part, one of the reasons that I'm so incredibly bullish on them, is because we had a lot of conversations about the things that they have planned. We have a lot of conversations about the artwork and the energy that was poured into the artwork, and a lot of conversations about how much they actually care about their community. You should absolutely jump into their Discord when you get a chance, because what you'll find, very similar to the geckos, is that the team is accessible. I was in the Discord last night, and they had like four people from their team, like the devs, the community manager. Everybody was in there just chatting, just talking. The exact same way, like I like to draw the comparison to the geckos, the exact same way that you would find like Goblin Gecko in their Discord, the actual artists themselves in there chatting about what they're pouring, what they've got in store, what they've got going on, and what they've got planned. So this is just extraordinarily bullish. And I wanted you to know that they're not paying me like thousands of dollars to talk about this. In fact, I get like probably 10 or 15 DMs a day, maybe more than that, of people saying like, Knox, we'd love to partner with you and review your project. And again, the only project I've ever partnered with at this point is the Red Panda Squad, in large part because they're the only project that I really believed in, that I really believed that they actually knew what it meant to build a community. Not do things that keep a community engaged, but actually build a community and build a spirit and a culture around their entire project. The other part of that is, quite frankly, most projects can't afford me. So, that's just being honest. I've been, well, anyways, this isn't my first time doing a YouTube channel or doing sponsorships or anything like that. I actually have another YouTube channel where I've done partnerships before, and I just, I would rather just talk from my heart and tell you what I really feel about your project. And if I like your project, I'll talk about it on my own. If you follow Function, he kind of feels a lot the same way. Like, I don't want to be clouded with my honesty, by the fact that I'm getting paid under the... I don't like that. So for the most part, I don't really do partnerships for that reason, unless you're bringing something extraordinary to the table or you can afford me, which most people can't. So that being said, let's take a look at what's going on with the pandas right now, why I'm still absolutely insanely bullish on this project, even though the price action has really started to jump up, and why I'm still buying pandas today, because I think there's just a humongous opportunity here. Let's check it out. So when we're analyzing what's going on with the Red Pandas, the thing to keep in mind here is we don't have the metrics on solanafloor.com yet. That way we can't actually track the trend over time. You're just going to have to take my word for some of the things that I'm about to talk about. But we do have Solanalysis. And Solanalysis is for basically seeing just a snapshot of how things exist in the entire Solana NFT ecosphere or ecosystem right now. So when you go to solanalysis.com for the first time, what you see is it is sorted by market cap first. Basically, what is the total value of the entire project right now. And I think there's some interesting things that we need to point out and highlight about the Red Panda Squad. First of all, where are they ranked by market cap? If we look at the entire chart right here, there are 56 total projects that are tracked on this. The Red Panda Squad in the last few days has jumped up quite a bit and now sit in the number 17 spot. Number 17 overall in just 7 days. The Red Pandas, actually at the time of this recording, it hasn't even been 7 days yet. If you're looking at it on an hour-by-hour basis, they're like at 6.5 days at this point. But the Red Panda Squad sits at number 17 by market cap, which is a pretty great accomplishment. If you ask me, I think that's really good. Now, a couple days ago when I was recording the Red Panda Squad, the floor was at 1.5. Their mint price, let me just go ahead and write this out over here. Their mint price was 2.5. So where are they at now? Let's check it out. If I actually go over to Solana, let's look at it in like real time. I'll scroll down just a hair, bring up the Red Panda Squad. Look at that. They are now up to a 2.48 floor, and they are steadily rising. In fact, if I look at this really quickly, that 2.48 is about to go, and then we have 3 more pandas to get back to their mint price of 2.5. That is extraordinary growth in just 2 days. Jumping back to Solanalysis for a second here. What I'm going to do, real quick, let's do this. Let's scroll up to the top and let's sort by 7-day volume. So what we've seen, I think this is really impressive. This really needs to be pointed out. When we look at 7-day volume, now the Red Panda Squad jumps up to 7. It's ahead of Aurora. It's ahead of Thugbirds down there at the very bottom of the screen. It's ahead of Solarians. And we see a bunch of ones that just dropped recently that were, having a lot of volume, a lot of trading. Solstead's really cool project. Infinity Labs, really cool artwork. Eternal Beings has drama going on with it. So I think there's a lot of people trying to exit, maybe. I don't know. I'm not too involved with that project. It's interesting to see the price change is positive right now. Along with a slight volume change, but the floor price is definitely dipping. It's dipping down to 1.8. So when we look at the Red Panda Squad, first of all, the 24-hour price change shows a 10% increase, and that was over the 70% increase it had the 24 hours previous. Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Then we have a large amount of volume changing. The real question also becomes, okay, do we have any, we see the floor price is definitely moving. The commons are moving up, which is a great symbol. But think again about how the market cycle actually works. The market cycle starts first with rares moving first. When a project launches, and everybody starts listing on secondary and they're not quite sure how good of a thing they really have, they list their rares for way too cheap. 10 sol, 15 sol, 20 sol, and people like me come in and buy all of them. And that kind of sends a signal to the rest of the market that this is going to be a project that actually people see a lot of potential in, and they start buying the next tier, like the middle tier apes or geckos or red pandas or whatever, and that starts sending an even bigger signal. So we'll put mid tier here, and then you see the floor action taking over. And once the floor starts rising again, more people are like, okay, I want a chance at going big. I want a chance at selling this NFT at Christie's. So the cycle starts over again and moves up to the rares. Jumping back to Twitter for 1 second, let me show you what happened this morning. If I scroll down just a hair, boom, just 3 hours ago, there was a 75 sol for a relatively rare Saiyan. Then if I scroll up some more, there was an 80 sol sale for a relatively rare Saiyan. And I'm going to bet you right now, by the end of this day or by the end of this weekend, you're going to see more sales like that. You're going to see the ceiling. You're going to see these ceilings start to creep up towards 100 or over 100 because some of these pandas are very rare and they look very, very cool. I mean, they do. They look awesome. They look really cool, and people are starting to wake up to that. Beyond that, another thing that I want to point out to you is how I keep mentioning that the Red Panda Squad keeps their promises, right? So let's check out what the Red Panda Squad is doing. First of all, staying super active in social media. They made a custom panda for SBF. Come on, that's adorable. Oh, the hair, it's so funny. It's cool. Let's see. Let's scroll down some more. They're talking about the big sales. There's some more big sales, some cool sales, some zombies, some diamond eyes going in the 30s. But look, right there, another donation. They are keeping the roadmap promises and giving back to the projects they care about. Here, they're donating to the Red Panda Societies. The Red Panda Network is the one that accepted this donation because, again, can't stress this enough. This is a really interesting fact. They minted more red pandas, 10,000 red pandas, than exist on planet Earth today. There are more red pandas circulating in NFTs than are actually existing on planet Earth. This is something that's near and dear to their hearts, obviously, and they're going to keep donating and giving back to this, which I think is a really cool deal. So, they continue to do stuff like this, but then out of nowhere, they announced the thing that everybody loves is already in week 1, they're working on an airdrop. And they say that if you're holding 2 pandas in your wallet, then you'll be eligible for the airdrop, or at least that's what I read on Discord. So maybe fact check me on that. And speaking of fact checking, all of this is risky investments. Nothing that I say here should ever be construed as financial advice. You should always do your own research, double check me, fact check me on everything that I say, because I'm not a financial professional. I am just an average Joe off the street having a conversation with my friends about things that I'm really, really passionate about. So, with that being said, how can you maximize your opportunity with the pandas? Well, first of all, the floor prices themselves are still relatively low. 2.5 Sol is not, it's not, cheap. It's not free, but it's not terribly expensive compared to other projects out there. If you're like me and you believe that this project will actually go the distance, it won't be a project that fades off into the dark in 2 or 3 months like most projects that are minting today will. Pause for a moment. This is the interesting thing to me, is a lot of people like geckos. Geckos mint, right? And they go absolutely parabolic, and everybody's like, oh my god, this is the next Bored Ape Yacht Club. This is so amazing. And then what do? The moment a new project comes out with some flashy artwork, they dump. They dump on the floor, and they exit out, and they go try and mint this thing, try and grab a rare, and try and, make 20 Sol or something. When everybody's in agreement that if you have conviction and you hold your blue chips, your true winners that if you just hold them for a little while. And I've highlighted the reasons why you want to hold. We talked about the FTX marketplace. We talk about the projects that are coming, the airdrops that are coming. All these great reasons to hold, yet people just get distracted by these flashy things and they dump these clear winners, these things that are, to me, I believe the things that I'm holding are going to get 6 or 7 digits someday. Okay, I'll buy them. That's all I can say. So for me, I'm not this guy who goes out and mints literally everything that comes out. I don't buy 20 or 30 of them. I don't be like, I'm aping this right now. I don't do that. I research the heck out of my projects. And I mean, I spend all day, checking out websites and wanting to know how the team is. If you DM me and you're like, review my project, tell me what you think. I'm going to look at the artwork first of all and say, does the artwork catch my attention? I'll know within the first 5 seconds if I want to ask you more questions. And then if the artwork catches my attention, I want to know, how are you going to build a community? And a lot of people are like, oh, well, we've got this thing planned, or we're going to do buybacks, or things. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking, how are you going to build a culture around this? Like Bored Apes and all of these other blue chip projects that we talk, or monkeys. Monkeys, let's be honest, they haven't really done anything, but they've built a culture. They've built a culture, and now they're the top, blue chip on Solana. So what I want to know is, how are you going to build a culture? What is your identity? How are you going to get people to buy into your identity and believe that they're a part of an exclusive club? Because that's why people buy NFTs. I mean, people buy NFTs because they want to feel like they're a part of something. When I buy, here's what I'm holding right now. Are you ready for this? Monkeys. Got 2 monkeys. I've got 1 ape. I've got 5 geckos at this point. All of them are very rare, and I think they're going to sell for a lot one day. And I've got a lot of red pandas. I went crazy on the Super Saiyans. And then I saw like a cyborg that I really wanted, and I saw a skeleton that I really wanted, and then I started buying all the ones with joints. So the point is like I've only bought these 5 projects really, that the 5 projects that I really care about, because those are the ones that I actually believe are doing something special. They're the only ones that I believe, not that everybody else isn't doing something special or something cool or something unique, but these are the only ones that I have been convinced that they have a plan, that this is what their focus is in their life. They want to build a community, a club, a feeling of exclusivity, that you're a part of something special. It's not just we're doing these events where we've made this cool artwork, no, that's not it. I feel like they're actually involved in part of a team. They're building a team. They want you to be a part of the team. That's why they interact with you in Discord. And the Red Pandas have done that. When I first reached out to the Red Panda Squad, like the biggest thing I wanted to know was, how do I know you're not going to rug us? How do I know you want to be around in 30 days? How do I know you're not just trying to get a cash grab because you got some cute art? And it was like, no, dude. Like, they were like, we are so committed to Solana, you have no idea. Like, this is our focus right now. This is our goal, and here's why we've done all of this legwork up front to make sure that we're going to be as successful as possible. They had already reached out to all of the exchanges. They had already formed all of their partnerships. They had already fleshed out exactly where their roadmap was going to go, on how long it was going to get there, and what they wanted to do at each step of the way. They had already done all of this stuff, when I'm telling you, most of the projects that DM me have not thought, like, it's obvious that like they saw an easy way to get a couple $1,000,000, and that's what they're focused on right now. They're focused on mint day, but they're not focused on what happens after mint day. What a project should really be focused, like, they should be stressed about mint day. That's going to be a big deal. Obviously, it's the launch of your project. It's your first impression. But you should really focus it on what happens the first quarter after your mint day. Because, yeah, you're going to get a huge injection of cash, but the project, if it's a real project that you devote your soul into, your recurring revenue from royalty sales over time is going to dwarf the amount of cash you get on your first influx, as long as you actually build the project right. Let's pick on Bored Apes yet again. Bored Apes probably raised back in April or May, what was that? Probably like $2 or $3 million. How much have they made in royalties since? They have $1 million sales all the time now. They're at auction at this point. So, to me, it just seems like most projects are very short-sighted. They're clearly run by people who don't have a lot of experience or expertise in this, about what it's like to even operate a business or build a community or a club or run a team or an organization. The Red Pandas were the opposite of that. The Red Pandas had their crap together. The geckos have their crap together. Even the DGN apes have their crap together. You guys, they're building something special behind the scenes over there. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. I know that they get a lot of flack on the outside on Twitter and, just in their PR in general, but I know they got something special going on. And then look at the communities. Like, just community alone drove the monkeys and thugbirds. And look at where they are today. And what's going to happen in a few weeks when FTX launches? Come on. Like, it's going to be so huge. If you're in a big, successful project right now, you don't even know. When Function tweeted yesterday, let's bring up the tweet because it's such a big deal. There, I got to scroll down to find it in the midst of all of his dick jokes because he's got a million of them. Function. Anyways, let's get through all the sloths. The sloths were cool, right? That's cool, funny, silly artwork. I missed out on that. Like, I didn't even realize that was minting until it was minted. So it's one of those things, like, I'm just going to have to say I just take an L on that one. I just missed it, and I don't want to FOMO into it now because I don't know anything about the project. I don't know anything about the team. I don't know what they've got planned. Look at how many things did you mint, dude? Let's keep going. Finally, Finally, you have no idea how many sloths I just scrolled by to finally see. I had to stop recording. Look at this. Read this right here. Imagine FTX starts selling Solana NFTs in their own marketplace, and they allow people to pay with credit card. President of FTX, right there, Brett Harrison. Why are you not following him on Twitter? Exactly the plan. Do you know how reckless people are with credit? Like, especially in the Western Hemisphere, that's people just they have so much more wealth in credit than they actually have in wealth. And this is going to be so bonkers because NFTs in general, especially the blue chips, provide significantly higher yields. So people will look at like, well, my APR on my credit card is 20. Actually, they won't even look at that. But smart investors or sophisticated investors will go, my APR on my credit card is 22%, but I expect to make 2,200% off this NFT. So YOLO, roll the dice, swipe it, let's go. I'm going to get, 3% cash back. So, book a trip to Disney with that. This is dangerous. It's exciting for me as an NFT holder. It's scary to think that my kids will grow up in a world where they can buy NFTs with a credit card. They probably won't be able to in my state. They actually have like all cryptocurrency transactions with a credit card banned. The only way you're getting crypto in my state or any crypto asset is by using a fiat on ramp like FTX or Coinbase. But nonetheless, FTX is enabling the demons to help people buy their NFTs with a credit card. And if you're holding those NFTs, congrats, man. You're probably going to do really well in a retail world. But, also nobody has $1 million limit on their credit card. They're not going to swipe and buy, your rank 50 gecko on credit card. What's going to happen there is you're going to try and get institutional investors to buy it. And having FTX as a marketplace trying to compete with OpenSea, but also highlighting the Solana NFTs in the place, they're going to attract a lot of capital. They really are. FTX is a mover and a shaker in the institutional world. And, if you believe like I believe that NFTs are here to stay and that Solana is here to stay and that the Solana NFT blue chips are here to stay, then that's going to be a big deal. Now, you're probably wondering to yourself, Knox, do you think the Red Panda Squad is a blue chip? I'm not ready to call them a blue chip today, but I think they have all of the pieces of the puzzle to become one. I think the team will continue to deliver value to the holders. I really believe they will. And I believe, more importantly, they will continue to deliver an experience. I forgot. They told me that they updated their website. Let's check it out. They will continue to deliver value and experiences to their holders, and they're going to give people a reason to stay. So here they are. They're updating. Now they're going through the checklist. They're checking it off. Now they're working on the private website. Now, here's the thing. They gave a $25,000 donation already. They gave the $10,000 donation already, even though they're not at the 50% mark. They're already jumping ahead and doing this, so I'm going to give them like a little check mark because they've already started working on that, even though it's ahead of schedule. God, I'm so excited for the merch, you guys. Like, I'm a merch fiend. I like flexing my NFTs. I've got, my gecko here on my watch right there, the same one you saw in the background on my mural there. So this is a big deal to me. The fact that they are just continuing to chug away, the fact that they're accessible, they're available, the fact that they're building an environment that's fun. It's fun to be a part of. It's fun to share alpha in the Discord. I believe they have good partnerships with influencers and celebrities or people like that in the works, if not already done. I don't have the insight. I don't have the inside scoop on that. Everything about this points to a well-run project. Everything about it. And, I believe that one day they will sit at the top of the list. I really do. And I don't mean disrespect to any of the other projects that are coming out right now. You know, I'm not saying that all of their stuff is bad. Some of them are. Some projects are bad. Some projects are clearly a cash grab. Some projects are clearly just a celebrity wants to make some money and bolt. And then there are other projects that are good, that are interesting. They're doing interesting work. They've got an interesting theme to what they're trying to mint. But I want something that truly catches my eye. I want something that has interesting attributes, that is kind of funny at the same time, and you know, stuff that makes people smile. And I really want to see how when if I'm going to pay to join your country club, what's going to make me not want to leave your country club in a week. And that's why I asked these people. I wanted to have a conversation with them first, and ask them after I heard, like, what can we do? What can we set up here? Because this is amazing. And again, I haven't done that with anybody else. And a lot of people reach out to me all the time asking for partnerships. And I always ask them, like, all the same questions. What are you doing to build a community? You know, what are you doing to build a culture? And they just never have an answer for me, because they're just focused on, like, copying what other projects are doing that they think works, because they haven't been around long enough to watch projects die. I think that's the best way to put it. It's like, I've been around. I watched what happened to a bunch of Ethereum projects that launched in May and June, and they had a huge amount of hype, and now guess what? They're dead. I don't think that's the case for the ones that I truly believe in, and the Red Pandas are one that I truly believe. Oh my goodness, I was about to wrap up. No, how do you find your deals? How do you snipe deals? Okay, let's go to, of course, how rare. I mean, it couldn't be easier when you have a tool like How Rare that integrates with Solana, because all you have to do is scroll down on the left-hand side and put in your price. Let's say your max price you're willing to pay right now is 6 Sol. Well, right there, you've got rank 786 listed for 6 Sol. Look, this guy looks pretty cool, listed for 6 Sol. This guy, the alien, that bright green is called the alien attribute, 5.9 Sol. Look at this. Right here, there are 5 pandas listed in the top 1,000, the top 10%. So you could actually grab one right now in the top 8%, that would be 7.8, top one in the top 9%, and then a few in the top 10%. Right now, look at this guy's 4.7 Sol. I'm gonna go buy that. And then you scroll down a little more, you see some cool attribute guys, like right here, like rank 1157 is a zombie for 5.99. Just get the one that catches your eye, okay? Like, you can go by rank, perfectly fine to do that. I sure did. I bought a bunch of stuff by rank. But then you also want to get the ones that catch your eye. Let me show you another little secret. Let's say I wanted to go about collecting sands. Sands have, their rarity is 0.91%, meaning 91 out of 1,000 exist in the wild. And then you can actually use this tool to find a way to make it even more, like, help you out. So the sand piece is on the head attribute. So I'm going to scroll down, I'm going to choose Super Saiyans, and I'm going to click Submit. Oh wait, there's none in this price range. I got to choose no price max here and click Submit. So here's all the Super Saiyans that exist in the wild. And you're like, cool. Now I can just, if I want to buy a Saiyan for the cheapest price that I can afford, I can look at the prices here. Or watch this. When you choose Saiyan, it shows you that there's 91 available. But then when you go to the body section, it shows you what bodies are available out of the given Saiyans. So what I see here is like, oh, there's only 7 alien Saiyans. There's only 1 colorful Saiyan. That was the one that sold for 80 Sol earlier this morning. There are no cyborgs. There are only 3 golds. There's only 5 shiny blues. There's only 3 mercurial blues. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, notice that the rarity of the body doesn't necessarily have an impact in the ranking. Rank 16 right here has the most common body in existence, regular. So that's a pretty interesting thing to keep in mind, that just because you're getting a very rare body doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting a very high ranking one. Even though these are all pretty highly ranked because they're Saiyans. The Saiyans are very rare. So I guess that's my point. If you're like going for a specific aesthetic, you're like, okay, Super Saiyans are really cool, but how many shiny blues are there in existence? Let's submit that. And now we can look at the shiny blues and go like, okay, well, those are pretty cool. And they're not pretty cheap right now. I think the cheapest one, the floor on shiny blue Saiyans is 44, and then it jumps up to 150 because there's only 5 in existence. You see what I mean? How you can find some real deals that you can snipe out of this. Just pick out the attributes that you really want to pick on. Maybe you want to look at, just joints, or maybe you just want to look at a specific body or a specific hat or a specific background. Then from there, look at what all of your options are, because it shows you what the counts are. So this is what I'm doing to find and snipe deals on Red Pandas while the prices are still within reach. I believe that they won't be within reach for very long. Now, again, none of this is financial advice. All of this is super risky. You should always do your own research, double check everything that I am saying. And lastly, if you enjoyed the content that you just watched, hit that subscribe button below. It's free to click, and it tells YouTube that you like what I'm doing. You're basically saying, hey, he's doing a good job. All right, thanks for stopping by, y'all. I'll see you in the next one.